Well, it's Ace Carolla and, of course, the Professor Sandy Ganz with another tech tip brought to you by our good friends over at Discount Tire. Sandy?
All right. Well, today's tech tip is going to be talking a couple of things. One of them is plus sizing. And
I was going to say, Sandy, shut up and let me do the
Oh,
talking.
all right.
I know it sounded like
I thought you were
said
throwing. Going to make me do a little work this time.
You know what? It did. The tone was Sandy, but it was really Sandy.
Let's just
shut
cut
the hell
this
up.
out of editing.
Okay, let's cut this out. All right. So what do we got here, Ganz?
We've got a bunch of different size tires, kind of illustrate just the variety of sizes and different rim and profile sizes. A good example
Tires
is...
are a lot like ladies. They're all different shapes, and they're all black. Oh, wait a minute.
That's a different lady.
Yeah, it didn't work out. We'll edit that out, too.
We'll cut that out, too. Here's a great example of tires that have different sizes, rims, different size rims with the same size kind of tire. This is looks like a Lambo rim of some, I don't know, junkyard special.
Yes, it does, and it could have come off an Islero, could have come off a Mura, it could have come off an Espada. But why are you asking me? I don't know anything about Lambos.
What would you know about tires or
rims?
rims?
The thing I like about it is they have the spline drive and then the knockoff.
15-inch rim with a fairly, big sidewall. This is a 70 series, 215/70, and I think
old school
style with sidewall.
Right.
And a lot of these guys, we think tires as numbers and stuff. A lot of people are less fortunate than us that don't have the tire capacity. Think of it as plus sizing. So, like
they want to step up to a bigger rim.
Like big and tall men.
So the guy says, I got my Lamborghini Mura with the 15-inch rims, but I want to put some 16 or 17-inch triple chrome spinners on there.
Some rollers. Right. So, and in this example, we have some Aston Martin rims that were taken off your car, which are, I believe, 19s. And
I was wondering where those rims went.
Well, I'm going to be using them on mine because they look like they'll work, and my tires are getting worn. But this is a 15, and that's a 19. So that'll be a +4 sizing as they
so it's interesting. So if you put these two tires next to each other, they're the same height. You could even make an argument that this 15-inch was a taller tire than the 18, or is it a 19?
I think it's a 19.
It's a 19-inch. Now, why is that? Well, the ratio is different. This is a 70 series tire. This is probably a 40 series tire.
Let's just be accurate here. It's a 35 series.
Don't ever correct me on camera.
Are we on camera?
Oh, yeah.
That's all right here.
So you have a 35 series tire that is a much bigger tire on a much bigger rim, but yet, lo and behold, it's lower than the much smaller rim and the much smaller tire, just because one's a 70 series and the other is half that,
half
35 series.
Right, and the point is that using a little bit of math, you want these to be the same size. So if we wanted to put on your 1972 Islero, some Aston Martin rims, you want to get that thing, donkin or whatever they call it. These 19s are pretty close, but you'd probably even want to go a little bit wider, which would make the tire just about the same height as a 70 series.
Right. So in a nutshell, you don't want to change the overall diameter of what you have stock, because it's going to affect the speedo.
Everything.
It's going to affect the odometer.
Safety.
The old lady, braking distance, everything else. But you want a little more rim. So you step up with a bigger rim, and as the rim goes up, well, then the number on the side, the series, goes down. So you step up. I would say, just as a rule of thumb, you go to a 16-inch rim, you go to a 60 series tire. Then you want to step up to a 17-inch rim, maybe you'd go with a 50 or a 45 series. And you will go 18 and so on and so forth. And you get a greater footprint, wider tread. All right.
Filling up the meat.
Now we're boy, did that sound gay. Let's talk about winter. Man, did you go outside?
This is, I got to tell you, Adam, I've never seen such a brutal California winter as what we're having right now.
It's like 71.
71. I brought a jacket this morning, and
you were this close to putting a sleeve on one of these shirts, right?
It was close. It was a close call when I walked out. I go, jacket, and maybe not a T-shirt.
And yep, and he always and for those of you who are good friends and fans of our Discount Tire, you guys are all over the United States, and some places you got salt on the road, you got snow on the road, you got sleet.
Sleet, snow, gravel.
Black ice.
The dangerous black ice.
That was my porn name, by the way.
Black ice?
Yeah.
I thought it was Alcantara.
Alcantara. I work with a few different names, yeah. But anyway, so what do? What's the bet now? You got some snow tires. You're going to set, if you live somewhere where you're going to have snow, you're going to have to swap them out, put on the snow tires. And what rims do you use? We know about snow tires. What about snow rims?
Snow rims are tricky because, first of all, you do want to do snow tires if you're in one of those areas. And if you have aluminum rims, bad news. They're coated usually from the factory with some heavy-duty epoxy urethane, something or other. Guaranteed, if you're running your car in the snow, you're going to get rock chips, and that's the start of the cancer. Aluminum and salt and sodium chloride, or wherever they're dumping all over your back east roads or Midwest, wherever they're salting, is highly corrosive to aluminum. It attacks the tire bead, everything.
So you get that tire, you get the chip from the stone, that leaves the door cracked open, and the corrosive salt and sodium and whatever else just creeps in and pollutes the whole place.
Right,
it's like termites.
Right, and you could see that on any car that's driven with aluminum ribs that you may find on salted areas. And the thing is, those are your rims
and that
for
becomes
style.
dangerous.
Then it becomes dangerous. And
so you're saying go with old-fashioned steel rims. And by the way, you don't need the performance of aluminum with snow tires anyway, so you might as well go with the and the price.
Here's the thing. The steel is affected by the salt and corrosion as well. It's just not as aggressive. And if you're going to throw on some snow tires on your car, it's easy just to get a cheap set of rims or some of the special rims that they make for snow tires that are designed and ready to go. You throw your snow tires on those, you pump them in the garage for the summer, bring them out for the winter. It makes your car look nice for the bulk of the year, and you don't need snow tires 90% of the time.
Sure.
So you do the swap out. It's safer, and it'll give you a lot longer life on your aluminum style rims.
Right. And this, and just one more quick safety tip. This is probably...
Don't use knockoffs on a Lamborghini?
No, this is probably a magnesium rim. And thus the term mag wheel. A lot of folks didn't know that, but this is magnesium, and magnesium degrades over the years as well. And
it oxidizes really fast, painted.
Right. So,
by the way, don't run magnesium rims on your regular car unless it's a show car and you need that for something.
Yeah, so if you have magnesium rims, they're probably a little distressed, and you certainly don't want to hit the track with magnesium rims. Step up to some newer. Sometimes you can find, as a matter of fact, they make a version of this rim that's forged aluminum. That's the one you want to put on your car.
Yeah, the magnesium's okay as long as you know what the condition is, but a lot of times these guys will come back and like, hey, buddy, man, mount my Shelby rims on here. I got some magnesium, authentic magnesium Shelby racing rims. And I go, dude, I would not run these things. And they're scary because you see.
They're 45 years old now.
They're 45 years. They're really porous, and it's just not one of the better things you do. And the same thing applies to aluminum rims that have been degraded from the elements. You don't want to run that stuff. They leak air. It's just bad all around.
All right.
It's bad news, let's say that.
Well, I got to go do a voice on the Family Guy. So do you feel like we've covered our tire segment for Discount Tire?
I think Discount Tires...
they got to be happy with this.
They're always happy with what we do.
Yeah, they got to be over the moon about this.
Should we pitch it out here? Let them roll, too.
Yeah.
www.discounttire.com, and they have all the information about winter driving, tire treads, as well as the aforementioned plus tire sizing.
Nice job.